welcome to the Spirit Safe. My name's Rob. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. What we have this time is a bottle from Auchroisk. That's a bit of a difficult one to pronounce. It is a Speyside distillery owned by Diageo. And this particular bottling is from Berry Brothers and Rudd, which is a very old London-based spirit merchant. Love the design of the label, very understated. It does have the 2 royal warrants, which will now have to change, I guess. But it's just wonderfully understated bottling here. So you don't see a lot of Auchroisk in distillery bottlings. The Diageo do have a very expensive, I think, 25-year-old Auchroisk. That's not what I've got here. This is a 9-year-old bottled, I think distilled 2010, 9 years of age, bottled 2019, and it is bottled at 61% ABV, so probably close to cask strength, and it does say unchill filtered and uncoloured. So yeah, let's see what we've got. I paid about 85 Canadian plus tax for this out of an Alberta retailer. So there is an alcohol note there, 61%. But there is a lightness to it as well, light and fruity, but there's a spirity acetone note. As well, a little bit of paprika, a little bit of ground pepper, a bit of overripe pear or plum. Surprisingly oaky for a 9-year-old as well. Grapes, rhubarb, a little bit of confectionery, banana, and there's an interesting component to this where melon and menthol seem to be working quite well together. Menthol would normally overwhelm a light flavour like melon, but the two seem to be jiving pretty good. Pears, apples, bit of potpourri, some sandalwood, quite a bit of ginger, fresh, very fresh, grated ginger. Lemon and something oily and dense, like maybe a moisturising cream or a hand cream. A bit of coconut. The palate. Yes, there's a bit of fire to it, given its young age and high ABV. But it's got quite a nice, oily, supple mouthfeel. A lot of oak going on there. Woodiness, maybe. Lots of spice, ginger, nutmeg, ground ginger and fresh ginger. Pepper. It's a little bit young, it's a little bit hot at its full strength. But there's some nice mixed fruits, waxy notes. Tangerine, something a little bit creamy and oily. So let's add a little bit of water. 1.5. Yes, still very oaky, but there's a nice sweet lemon coming out now, some nice herbal notes. Dried red chilli, paprika, dry white wine, oily notes, nice floral perfume, maybe some rose water, Asian pear, vanilla, linen, and I do pick up a gooseberry fool. The fool is a traditional, I think it's an English dessert, which is a whipped dessert of cream and yogurt with fruit in there. So I pick up sort of a gooseberry fool. It's got that kind of tangy yogurt edge to it, the creaminess. Some cinnamon, a little bit of chocolate and saffron. And some espresso. Also, this is going to sound very odd, but there's a bit of chapstick there, because you get that very like a strawberry chapstick, because you get that light fruitiness of that confectionery fruit, and yet there's the density of this oily or waxy thing that's obviously made of. That sounds very weird. That's what I'm picking up. And much more perfume notes towards the back. With water, you get a nice sweet lemon and natural lemon rind, vanilla, whipped cream, oiliness, apple and, quite fresh apple and pear, chocolate, mixed spice, maybe Chinese mixed spice, maltiness starting to come through. It's still, even with quite a bit of water added, it's still oily, dense, and a little fiery. But there's a sort of a dense, waxy sweetness to it, which is nice. And now a bit more fruit blossom on the nose, which is going quite well with a sort of woodiness to it. Like walking through an orchard where they've cut some wood, so you've got the fruit blossom and you're picking up a sort of sawn wood as well. The finish of green apple, spices, lemon, oak, oranges, nutmeg, leather, cocoa, salt, lavender. So it's sort of oily on the finish with woody notes. So this is pretty good. I'm quite happy with it for 85 Canadian. It is, I think, quite close to the Cask Strength Glenelgin that I reviewed, in that it's sort of young, spirit forward. It's a lot less sweet than that Single Cask Nation Glenelgin, but it's just young, confident, high ABV whiskey by an independent bottler. And it's quite interesting that it's able to be light and fresh in some ways, but also very oily and oaky and waxy in others. So it does. It's good that it has that body and viscosity as well as retaining some of the lightness. So this is pretty good. I'm glad I got to try an Auchroisk for a pretty reasonable, actually very reasonable price here in Canada. And I encourage you to check it out. I'd like to try some more things from Berry Brothers and Rudd, and probably next year I'll review some of the blended malts that they do. Very nice price for those blended malts. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the review. Let me know if you've tried this. I'd be interested to hear your views. And anyway, until next time, take care.